test is going to continue to change. The requirements for the CIP US are going to change by IAPP as they have done in the last couple years. Hello and welcome back to Privacy Professional Training. In today's video, I want to talk about a couple of guides that I created. So when I was thinking about starting Privacy Professional Training, I realized that there were a lot of resources that I would have liked to have read before I even jumped into privacy. So I talked a lot about me attending the Women in Technology event in another video and how I actually got started in the data protection space. And I use data protection and data privacy interchangeably because to me, they are ultimately the protection of personal data, both terminologies. So I might use them interchangeably during the video. When I started thinking about changing the specialization that I had as a lawyer, I went to one event. I went to one event during the summer, and then I took the CIPP US exam in December of that same year. So let's just say about 4 months. But I think given how technology is moving so fast paced now, I think it would have been useful to have read a couple of books before I decided to take the certification. I'm really grateful that I decided to just go ahead and take the test after I'd gone to that one event. But in between those 4 months, I actually didn't do any revision. I didn't read any books about data protection. I am a go-getter, and immediately I'd heard about the conversation about how data protection was going to be, what privacy was, the types of benefits associated with the work, the trajectory in the future of how businesses were going to continue to place an emphasis on data protection. I just decided to take the certification. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is for all the privacy exams that I have personally taken, I created some short guides, and you can purchase all of these on Amazon. And basically, if you are not a privacy professional, but you are thinking about becoming a privacy professional, there are definitely a lot of free resources that you can read online. But if you are interested in my journey and how I ended up taking all of these certifications, I created a couple of these short guides. They're only small, but basically it gives you an overview. Let's say, for example, you haven't attended any IAPP events, you haven't joined any membership groups with like ISACA or ISC squared. You could spend maybe, I think these books would probably take you about an hour to read, which, is not all that much time in the grand scheme of things if you are considering taking any of these tests. Now, obviously, if there are other privacy certifications that you're planning to take, I would take a look at the certifying body because they have different guides that they provide you. But a lot of that insight is very basic and preliminary. Most times you have to invest in actually buying their textbook before you get insight into the certification. So there are a couple of resources you can use. If I were you, I would take a look at Scribed. There's a lot of resources that people share. If you want insight into what it might be like taking the test, what types of areas you might want to review and things like that before you invest in buying the textbook that's officially given by the certifying body, you could consider buying one of these short guides that I created. I sell them on Amazon. You can actually buy them in a digital copy, so you don't actually have to buy the physical copy. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I am a big physical copy type of person. I like physical copy, I like digital, I am either way. So whichever is your best method of learning, I have both copies available, but it basically gives you a short insight into what the exam might be about before you decide to dive into actually taking the test. So I really enjoy taking the certifications. I plan to continue taking certifications. If you guys are interested in the 6 privacy certifications I've currently taken, take a look at the description below. You can see my Accredible and Credly, and basically both of those platforms will show you what it looks like when you earn the certification, and it will also tell you about when the certification expires. I'm planning to do a whole video about CPEs and what you need to do to continue keeping your designation. So I've been doing this for a while, and I've had to renew my membership with the 3 certifying bodies that I'm a part of. But I'm planning to do a whole video about CPEs and how you can earn them and things like that. But this video is specifically for people that have never done anything related to privacy. They are thinking about it, they've heard it through friends or colleagues, and they're really looking at, is this really a group that I want to be part of? Because data protection is moving very fast paced. The level of insight that your clients are going to want from you is going to continue to be more and more and more. I feel like since the US has decided to ramp up statewide how many privacy legislations there are, the privacy space is not just growing, but also the level of sophistication that you have to know in terms of knowledge when you're giving advisory to your clients or providing privacy expertise is going to be far more in depth than it was a couple years ago. So I really hope you enjoyed this particular video. If you have any questions about my guides, I've left a link below. I've done them for all of the exams that I've personally taken. I've not done them for any other privacy certifications. When I continue to take the tests, I will let you guys know first and foremost when I've passed them. And then I will also create a similar type of guide, just sharing my understanding of what the test is requiring, what it's asking. And I have all of these should be current as to 2024 and 2025. So these won't go any further back. So I have taken a look at what all the certifying bodies are requiring for the exams, because obviously I took this particular exam 6 years ago. So the requirements for the exam now and the requirements for the exam then have definitely changed, and they'll continue to change. And my plan is to continue to update these books as and when the exam updates, because ultimately this video is going to be watched, years down the line. The test is going to continue to change. The requirements for the CIPUS are going to change by IAPP as they have done in the last couple years. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the tests that I've taken, if you have any questions about privacy professional training and what we offer, take a look at the description below, and I'll see you in another video.